Welcome in today here on Scotty Sports Network. Mike Smith alongside with you live from Scotty Park today here on this cold April afternoon. Only just a little over 30 degrees today. Little wind, but not too much. Hopefully it won't be too windy for the attendees of the ball game here today. But thanks for tuning in for a doubleheader of Highland Community College softball action. Midweek action against a Jayhawk Conference foe in non-league play, that is, against Cloud County is the opponent here for the Scotties today. And, well, the Scotties looking to continue their winning ways thus far this season, sitting at 20-5 on the year for Highland, 11-3 in Jayhawk Conference play, hosting the 9-11 Cloud County Thunderbirds, who sit in Jayhawk Conference play of their own, just 2-4. But on the other side of the Jayhawk Conference standings, the East and West standings, respectively, for Highland and Cloud County. Let's give you the starting lineups for today for the Scotties of Highland Community College. Jalissa Ortega will start inside the circle for today. Her battery mate behind the plate, Aubrey Hernandez. Over at first, Lexi Hodap. Over at second, it's Cammie Zimmerman. Sam Moran will be at the hot corner at third base, and rounding out the infield will be Maya Daniels at shortstop. Out in the outfield, in left field today, Alyssa Wesley. And then in center field for the Scotties, Kendra Baldridge. Cindy Anderson will round out the defensive lineup for the Scotties in right field for Highland. Peyton Gillen will be batting leadoff. She's playing third base today for Cloud County, who will be in the black unis, black pants, black tops, white numerals and letters outlined in the yellow. Highland in, of course, in the home whites with the pinstripes, the navy blue pinstripes with the navy blue numerals and letters outlined in the goldish yellow as well for themselves. Jalissa Ortega's first pitch to Peyton Gillen is a called strike one. Autumn Adams will bat second for Cloud County. She's the left fielder today for the Thunderbirds. Kayla West will bat third, and she's the catcher. Jordan Umel, the designated player, bats fourth. Ortega winds, fires, and a called strike two, painting the outside portion of the plate. 0-2 the count. Nicole Dinkle will bat in the 5 spot. She's the shortstop for Cloud County. Batting sixth is Alyssa Corpus. She's the first baseman. Shayna Sherrod going to be batting in the 7th spot in center field. 8th spot, Chelsea Bowers batting there, playing in right field. And the pitcher, Madison Hammonds, will be batting in the 9th spot. Madison Hartley is your flex player for Cloud County. She is the second baseman. Got some contact that time, fouls it off and out of play. And works its way behind us. Count 1-2. For the matchup, 9-11 record for Cloud County, struggling to start the year for themselves, just 3-3 on the road. 4 of the last 6 games have won in the loss column. Pitch outside, so now 2-2 the count. Jalissa, a sophomore from Goddard, Kansas, comes back with a lot of experience for the Scotties. Was a second-team Jayhawk Conference pitcher and a first-team All-District player last year. Chops it past Ortega. Actually glances off her glove. Zimmerman tries to get to it quickly and scooped over to Hodap by Zimmerman. But safe over at first, and an early base runner. Peyton Gillen gets on base early on here for Cloud County. Cloud County taking advantage with the early single as it glanced off the glove shortly from Ortega. And Zimmerman was charging hard, but slow roller after it did glance off of Ortega's glove, and thus allowing the gal to reach safely and Gillen to lead off the contest. Pitch outside and away that time to Autumn Adams. Ortega on the season, this will be her 14th appearance inside the circle, but only 5th start this year. More relief than anything else, and Ortega goes high and outside for ball 2. 40-plus innings pitched with a 2.43 ERA for Jalissa on the year. You go back into her entire career, she has a 2.34 ERA. And this will be her 44th appearance inside the circle for the Scotties. Showing bunt, but Adams pulled back. Moran and Hodap both charging in from third and first on that play. But pulled back, and Adams still remains at the plate and has a highly favorable count, 3-0 in her favor. 16th season for Aaron Ackery, who is the coach and manager for Cloud County. Base on ball, so back-to-back base runners garnered safely for Cloud County to start things rolling here. The Scotties have been pretty disciplined as far as not much offense for their opponents against them. 3.3 runs per game the Scotties give up this year, giving up only about 6 hits per contest thus far this season, while run producing 9 runs per game for themselves and 9 hits per game as well. At their 20-5 record on this season, Kayla West going to dig in. And West takes low and away, ball 1. So 5 consecutive pitches out of the zone from Ortega. And Jalissa misfiring early on here. Looked good against Gillen. Looked like she was going to be able to get her out. But then, of course, got the infield single. There's a strike. And West now has a 1-1 count. Ortega on this season, of course, with the walk. Now issued 10 free passes via the walk. 20 strikeouts on the year. So a 2-to-1 ratio, strikeouts to walks. Show bunt, went after it, slapped after it enough to break the plane for strike 2. 1-2 the count here to the catcher, Kayla West. Runners at first and second. Gillen reaching on the single, Adams on the walk. Reaching safely here for Cloud County. West, 355 batting average, but that doesn't come to fruition of anything there. As strike 3, and West is down on strikes for strikeout number 21 for Jalissa Ortega this season. Ortega in her career at Highland overall now with 139 strikeouts, so her next one will be her 140th. First pitch strike to Jordan Hummel. Hummel, a sophomore, the designated player, carries a pretty good stick for Cloud County, leading the team in both hits and batting average. Multiple other categories as well, like RBIs. 406 average, 14 RBIs and 28 hits for Hummel, and 69 plate appearances. Highland has played 5 more games than Cloud County. Not Cloud, obviously, 20 games on the season, 9-11. This one fouled off and over the top of the head, and athletic director Tyler Norman was worried about the fans. Also, the pricey equipment that we have, of course, to stream the action as it's fouled straight back over the top of us. Hit some trees in the grain bins behind us as well that are down the first base line here at Scotty Park. Pitch low and away by Ortega. Jalissa misfires on that to even the count at 2 apiece. 1 away, top of the first inning. Scotty's playing host to Cloud County today. Highland coming off of a series split with Johnson in the last doubleheader, where they lost the first game but took the second one. Swing and a miss by Hummel, and back-to-back strikeouts. And Ortega and the company around her, of course, for Highland defense, trying to get out of this inning. Jalissa trying to work it out for herself. She has now 140 strikeouts in her career. As I mentioned, one more strikeout, she would have been able to accomplish that. 2 coming into the game, and has 2 outs and 2 Ks, but gave up a single and a walk. Pitch number high for strike to Nicole Dinkle, shortstop. Dinkle 322 batting average on the season. Highland's pitching staff has a batting average against 281. This looped foul off the end of the barrel, out of play on the first base side, and count now 0-2. Scotties have surrendered 98 runs, but only 77 earned on the season. Struck out 124 batters. Popped up out towards center field, and that one's tracked in. Scotties able to, well, it was for a moment, but falls out of the glove of Kendra Baldridge, and that allows Cloud County to take the early lead on the miscue from Highland. Looked like it was going to be an opportunity for the Scotties to get out of that situation without any damage done after a leadoff single and a walk, but instead Cloud County takes the initial 2-0 lead in the top half of the first inning on an error out in center field, and it proves to be a costly one at that. Ortega, belt high for a first pitch strike to Alyssa Corpus. Corpus today, coming into this game, batting under 200, 197 actually on the year. That fouled off and out of play over the top of us again. Scotties, 5 losses on the year. They've all been competitive games, all games that they could have won as well. 3 of the 5 were by 1 run. Other game against Johnson recently was a highly competitive matchup that would be garnered. Then the other game was an 8-0 loss in the season opener as well. Corpus awaits the 1-2 delivery from Ortega, and a swing and a miss. Down on strike. Striking out the side, Joseph Ortega does for Highland, but it doesn't come with a 1-2-3 inning, though. It, of course, sees a single and a walk to lead things off. A miscue out in center field, leading to Cloud County taking first blood in today's matchup. 2-0 headed into the bottom of the first inning. Highland trailing. They're going to have to wake up the bats early here in Game 1 of the doubleheader on Scotty Sports Network.
Highland's new precision agriculture program was designed for the farmer or related farm worker of the future. The future arrived quickly. Today's agricultural work goes beyond the field and barn to the computer, the satellite, the drone, the research lab. Aligning all these aspects precisely for the individual, field, and crop is provided by Highland's Precision Ag program. Centered in Baileyville at the College Western Center, this program can provide you with experience in understanding and applying modern farming methods. Check it out.
Highland Community College surprises a lot of people. Generally thought as one of the smallest, Highland is actually in the middle of the 19 Kansas community colleges in enrollment. Its Highland campus has a real college feel with housing, athletics, student organizations, theater, concerts, art shows, an operating farm, and distinctive academic programs in its regional centers that cover the college's 9-county service area in northeast Kansas. Viticulture, enology, precision agriculture, diesel, construction technology, early childhood. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
Well, the Scotties have an error in the top half of the first inning, and it proves to be a costly one at that. 2 runners were on board when the error happened, which it would have been out number 3 as well in the top half of the frame. But a fly ball out to center that looked routine was not, and unfortunately dropped out there in center field for the error, leading to the 2 Gals reaching safely to open up the top of the first inning, scoring for Cloud County and making it 2-0 T-Birds here in the bottom half of the first inning. We'll get to the Scotty lineup in a moment, but let's set the defense for the visiting Cloud County squad. Of course, pitching is Madison Hammond, her battery mate for today, Kayla West at catcher. Over at first base, Alyssa Corpus, and your second baseman for today is the flex player, Madison Hartley for Cloud County. At the hot corner, third baseman is Peyton Gillen, and then rounding out the infield, Nicole Dinkle at shortstop. Out in the outfield from left to right, Autumn Adams. In center, Shayna Schrod, and of course is Kelsey Bowers in right field. Sam Moran will bat lead off for the Scotties. Third baseman stepping into the batter's box to take the bats off the shoulders for the Scotties for the first time here today, followed by second baseman Cammie Zimmerman. Right fielder Sydney Anderson will bat third, and a first pitch strike fired in from Madison Hammond. Aubrey Hernandez bats fourth. Catcher today is Hernandez. First baseman Lexi Hodap will bat fifth. Haley Donaldson in the sixth spot as the DP. Maya Daniels, their shortstop, will be batting seventh. Kendra Baldridge batting eighth. This one's popped over towards the third base line. It's a fair ball that will hit to the fence, and turning first, headed to second, is Sam Moran with a stand-up leadoff double to open up the bottom of the first inning. Rounding out the lineup, by the way, is Alyssa Wesley batting ninth, your left fielder. Sam Moran getting the double to lead things off for the Scotties. Moran was batting .357 entering today. That is her fifth double of the season. And a hot start to the game for the Scotties. They've been able to pound the ball and get extra base hits right and left throughout the course of the year. They have 61 doubles on this season to the Scotties. As Cammie Zimmerman's first pitch she sees from Madison Hammond is low and away, ball one. Scotties 61 doubles on the season, is tied for 12th in the country in NJCAA Division II level on the season. Cammie Zimmerman digging in. Cammie, a freshman from Topeka, Kansas, .365 batting average on the year. Multiple extra base hits on the season, 8 of them, matter of fact, with 6 being doubles. 2-0 delivery to Zimmerman. Off the plate, catches it. Wow, just paints the outside. Looked like almost a little delay call there on that strike, but 2-1 the count here. Hammond is by far and away the gal has pitched the most inside the circle thus far this season for Cloud County. And that's ball 3. Zimmerman trying to get on base pads for the Scotties here early on. Highland already garnering one base runner, as did Cloud County early. They made it pay dividends to the tune of an error, getting them 2 runs. Zimmerman chops it over to the shortstop, played off there, and fired over to first. Moran slowed up her initial pursuit to third, did get over to third on the throw. 6-3 on the putout, 1 away here in the bottom of the first inning. Sydney Anderson, she's played exceptionally well over the course of the year. Anderson, .471 batting average, 32 hits, 35 runs scored, and 31 RBIs. Pounded out 17 doubles. Extra base hits all around, and she has a 9-game hitting streak on top of all of that. So Sydney Anderson is the hot stick coming in to this doubleheader for the Scotties. Hammond winds, fires, little check swing. Anderson got a piece of it, fouled it off to the first base dugout, her own dugout side, to even the count 1-1. Of course, the first pitch was high and was ball 1. 5-6 record for Hammond, 62-plus innings pitched on the season, a 4.69 ERA, making her 15th appearance on the season, her 11th start. Now 2-1. Anderson has been on base quite a bit throughout the course of the year, nearly a 600 on base percentage. And Anderson puts one up into the air, lofty ball out towards left field, back there tracking it in. Tagging up from third, Moran will relatively score easily. So the sac fly from Sydney Anderson gets herself another RBI, and she's able to attach that on the fly ball out to left. But Sydney Anderson generates the fly ball out towards left, but a sac fly it is, her 32nd RBI, and Highland cuts the lead in half, making it 2-1 here in the bottom half of the first inning. So the leadoff double by Sam Moran. She comes around to score, and Aubrey Hernandez comes to the plate. Hernandez had a round-trip ticket in one of the games against Johnson County last home doubleheader, which was the last 2 games that Highland played as well. Hernandez takes strike 1. Aubrey, .471 batting average, which is tied for the best with Sydney Anderson on this season. Has a .914 slugging percentage, does Aubrey. 9 home runs on the year, 33 total hits. So right up there leading the team in the hits capacity and 34 RBIs, which also leads the team for the Scotties. For Aubrey Hernandez. Hernandez went after that one too. Low cutting swing that's fouled off and into the street. So Hernandez fouling another off. So 1-2 count it is for Aubrey. Aubrey making her 23rd appearance this season. Played in nearly every game. Fouled off the end of the barrel that time. Hernandez continues to battle against Madison Hammond. Scotties split last year with Cloud County, losing the last game 2-0, but winning in routing fashion in the first game 15-1. So a tale of 2 different games it was. Hernandez chases off a pitch off outside, probably off the plate. Maybe it would have catched to the outside corner, but went off the end of the barrel and fouled off again. Hernandez didn't, want to take any pitch that potentially could have caught that outside part of the play. They go for the outside pitch again. It's well off the plate that time. Kayla West trying to frame up and set up outside, but instead ball 2, and Hernandez now with a 2-2 count with 2 away here in the bottom half of the first inning. Scotties trail by 1, 2-1, and pitch sails high from Hammond. Now 3-1 count, full count for the Scotty catcher. Hernandez has been able to only garner 4 walks, but comes into this doubleheader with a 6-game hitting streak. Both hits, 1 hit apiece against Johnson, as Hernandez had a count that was not in her favor, but worked the base on balls ultimately with 2 outs. And here comes Lexi Hodamp to the play. Lexi blasted one out of here that went, I think it was like 260-some feet. It was, if you see that white house out there towards left center field, and out there, of course, past the fence, you see on the left-hand side of it, you can see the porch. It went about that deep off to the porch area That's how far that home run went from Lexi Hodap's bat last time around against Johnson County. First pitch was a ball to the first baseman for the Scotties. And Lexi digs back in. Hammond fires just off the plate outside for ball 2. The Olathe, Kansas freshman, .418 batting average. One of many gals above 400 on this team. She has obviously significant plate appearances on top of that. Multiple extra base hits, 9 of them, 4 home runs and 5 doubles. 3-0 count in favor of Lexi. She's drawn 3 walks this year, might be drawing her 4th right now. 3-game hitting streak for Hodap as well entering here today. So these 3 gals here, Anderson, Hernandez, and Hodap, been right there in the heart of the order as well for the Scotties. And back-to-back base on balls here with 2 outs. And Highland started this inning off very exceptionally with that leadoff double by Sam Moran. Cammie Zimmerman followed suit with a ground ball out to shortstop. Cindy Anderson had a deep fly ball to the left. That was a sac fly that brought in Moran, and she advanced to third on the ground ball from Zimmerman. And then Hernandez and Hodap both drawing 2 walks. West outside from her crouch going to the circle to talk with Hammond right now for Cloud County. Now, I mentioned last year these two teams split. Cloud winning the last game of the doubleheader, so Cloud technically has a 1-game winning streak against Highland, but Highland had won 17 games in a row against the Thunderbirds prior to that. And Hammond looked like that one was right about knee-high, but goes a little low for Haley Donaldson. Haley lays off the pitch, the DeKalb, Missouri native from a sophomore, of course, batting .375. Two gals on, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. And Donaldson makes some good contact out towards right field, past the right fielder's hands and out towards the fence. Donaldson's going to clear the bases, turn second, and hit the brakes quickly. Here's Hodap sliding in underneath the throw, and a 2-run double for Haley Donaldson. Donaldson delivers the big stick that time around, her 19th game played, and delivers her 7th game with now a hit. Her 10th hit of the season is a double, and Haley Donaldson's 2nd double of the year has attached 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs for Donaldson in that capacity for 8th and 9th of the year, and the Scotties have a 3-run output here in the bottom of the first inning. So Scotties on top, making the 2 walks with 2 outs, pay dividends as well, with Haley Donaldson providing the big hit. 2 hits in this inning, both extra base hits at that, both doubles. Maya Daniels with the 2-0 count in her favor. Maya from Lawrence, Kansas, freshman with a .240 batting average on the season, 6 hits, takes a called strike 1, and Daniels now with a 2-1 count against her. Like I said, the Scotties have produced a multitude of doubles on the season, with the 2 today, now 63 on the year, ranking towards the top 10, tied for 12th entering today in junior college Division II level. Scotties ranked 9th in the latest junior college Division II rankings, the NJCAA releasing those yesterday. And Scotties actually moving down slightly, but to number 9 this week. Scotties opened up the season, the preseason polls number 18, quickly jumped up into the top 5, the preceding first poll that was released during action of the season, and they've remained in the top 10 since, but sitting at number 9 this week. 3-2 lead. Scotties lead it with a 3-run bottom of the first inning, just young into this matchup. Pitch off the plate. Hammond not getting some calls as she's trying to paintbrush around in this situation. Full count here to the shortstop for Highland, Maya Daniels. Donaldson at second with 2 outs, and Daniels gets some good contact, sends it over the top of the head of the second baseman and in towards right center. Donaldson turns third. Here comes the throw in. It's not coming home, and Donaldson comes in to score the 4th run of the inning, and Highland has doubled up Cloud County now. After giving up 2 runs in the top half of the first, they've answered suit with a couple of big clutch 2-out hits. Maya Daniels gets her 7th hit of the season, and it's her 2nd RBI as well. Here comes Kendra Baldridge to the plate. Kendra, unfortunately, was the gal in center field that had the errant play that led to Cloud County's 2 runs in the top half of the first inning. First pitch is ball one to Baldridge, the center fielder. Kendra has done very well at the plate this year. 438 batting average, 500 on base percentage for Kendra Baldridge, the Derby, Kansas sophomore. Here comes the movement towards second, sliding in head first and gunned down, and that will end the inning. Maya Daniels was on the move trying to steal second, but it would be Kendra Baldridge to come back to the plate for Highland in the bottom half of the second. The Scotties do respond after giving up 2 to Cloud County in the top half of the first. They respond with 3 hits and 2 walks to get 4 runs in the bottom of the first inning, and 1 inning in the books here on the Scotty Sports Network in Game 1 of the doubleheader against Cloud County. Highland leads at 4-2. Mike Smith on the Scotty Sports Network.
Get all the latest news on Highland Community College athletics by checking out ScottyAthletics.com. From recaps of the latest game action, schedules, stats, player features, athletes of the week, and much more. All you need to know about Highland Community College sports at your fingertips at ScottyAthletics.com. Make sure to also follow us on Twitter at HCC Scotties and on Facebook. What is it that stays with Highland alums that make them want to come back and work there? Almost 40 Scotty alums are now Scotty employees, and that number increases every year. Highland President David Rice encourages and supports those who work there with a simple philosophy. You're hired to do a job, do it well. Supporting folks to do their jobs encourages them to meet Rice's simple but high standards. Consequently, Highland faculty, staff, and administration are all part of a supportive culture that helps each other do their jobs well. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu. Shania
Schrod leading off here in the top half of the second inning, and Jalissa Ortega's first pitch connected upon a little short looper right to Sam Moran, who charged in on it and is able to corral it quickly. 1 pitch, 1 out, and Schrod is headed back to the dugout. Shania is a gal that I saw playing high school ball, of course, from Seneca area, Nemaha Central High School. But Schrod retired on 1 pitch in the top half of the second. Striking out the side did Jalissa Ortega in the top half of the first, and a first pitch strike to Kelsey Bowers here for Cloud County. Cloud County, to their credit, got the error and took advantage of it. Had he base running to pay attention, it would have been the third and final out. Contact there, made down the first base line, pulled foul, and it'll be a foul ball, meaning Bowers will continue her at bat. Scotty's looking for win number 21 on the season. Been able to pick up wins right and left all throughout the course of underneath the tutelage of Coach Heidi and Scott Jordan. 14 years as the coaches here for Highland Community College softball, and have been able to put forth highly successful seasons right and left all throughout the course of that time frame. 30-plus wins a multitude of times, including last year. Multiple trips to the national tournament on top of that. Pitch swung on and missed, and another strikeout. And racking the K's up early. Jalissa Ortega getting her 4th strikeout on 5 outs recorded in the ball game. Jalissa has been able to strike out the victims at a higher rate than perhaps maybe normal for herself. Been in relief appearance, as I said, throughout the course of the year, but 5 games with 2 or more strikeouts. This is perhaps one of her best of not only this year, but maybe her career. Madison Hammond, the pitcher, had a first pitch strike and now wind and fire. The windmill goes up high. Hammond chases after it and comes up empty again for a swinging strike 2. After Hammond, it'll be the first time through the order, but it could be a 1-2-3 inning in the top half of the second, and Ortega can make light work of Cloud County's batters. Pitch sailed high from Jalissa that time around, and 1-2 the count. I mentioned earlier that Highland split with Cloud County last year, winning 15-1, but losing 2-0. The Scotties had won 17 matchups. That included the 15-1 victory prior to that loss. Swing and a miss and down on strikes. 5 strikeouts for Ortega and a 1-2-3 inning for the Scotty defense. It was relatively quick at that as well in the top half of the second inning. Highland leads it after 1.5. We head to the bottom of the second with Baldridge, Wesley, and Moran due up for Highland when we return here on the Scotty Sports Network.
Stories about college debt and what it is doing not only to the students who borrowed the money, but also to families who co-signed those loans. You may have concern about your own college future. Check out the difference it makes to attend Highland Community College before transferring to a four-year institution. Going to Highland will save you thousands of dollars in college expense. Literally, you'll be able to start your life after college without the burden of debt that is impacting so many families. Check it out at highlandcc.edu. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
Watch all the action and relive games from the season on the Scotty Sports Network, your home for Highland Community College sports. Subscribe to the Scotty Sports Network on YouTube and stay connected to HCC Sports. And now you can catch the latest game action and special features on teams and players with programs like Scotty Sports Talk. Find links to Scotty Sports Network under the Fan Zone tab at ScottyAthletics.com and subscribe to the Scotty Sports Network on YouTube.
Quick top after the second inning. Scotties make light work of Cloud County's bats as don't allow much offense at all. Nothing. A line out, matter of fact, to open up the inning, and then a pair of strikeouts. That's 5 of them in the game for Jalissa Ortega in this contest for the Scotties. Ortega looking good here and her 5th start of the season, I believe it is. Yeah, it is her 5th start, 14th appearance of the year for Jalissa. Kendra Baldridge, who was at the plate when Maya Daniels was caught stealing the end of the bottom of the first inning when Highlands plated 4 runs on 3 hits and 2 walks. Baldridge headed back to the plate to have another crack at it here. .438 batting average for Baldridge. 8 doubles and 4 home runs on this season. 16 games of her now 23 with hits on the year. This being her 23rd appearance of the season. Pitch paints the inside portion of the plate by Madison Hammond. Hammond was trying to go outside quite a bit to try to walk the line on the outer portion of the home plate in inning number 1. Didn't get a lot of those calls to go her way. She misses outside. West tried to frame it back, but well off the plate that time around. Talking about the series between these two teams, I mentioned that Highland won 17 in a row with last year's Game 1 victory against Cloud. Of course, they lost Game 2, so Cloud has won 1 in a row in the series. There's a strike to Baldridge, but teams didn't play from 05 to 08, but Highland had won 17 in a row and given up 3 runs or less in 16 of the 18 matchups, and they already have given up 2 here in this one. But only twice in the last 18 times these teams have played that Cloud County has scored more than 3 runs against Highland. 2-2 count here to the Scotty center fielder, Kendra Baldridge, who leads off the inning. Then the 9 spot, Alyssa Wesley gets her first crack at it. That's fouled off and in between the grain bins on the first base side. So 2-2 count, it remains. Same sense where Highland's only given up 3 runs or less to Cloud County in 16 of the last 18 matchups between each other. Highland scored 5 or more in 11 of the 18 games. A lot of foul balls here. This one caroms off of a grain bin on the side by Baldridge to keep the count at 2-2. They've also played several tight games as well, despite last year being 2 different styles of games. Last year, Highland won handedly by 14, but again, lost the other game in a tight battle, 2-0. Scotties have had some tight battles this year. Come out on top a few of those. Also took some tough losses as well. Like I said, 3 of their 5 losses are by 1 run. Pitch off the plate and away. So now full count for Baldridge as Hammond continues to rack up pitch count. But pitch count obviously not a big of an issue in softball because you can come back and turn around and pitch relatively faster than in baseball. So good at bat that time by Baldridge. Battled for an at bat, fouled a few pitches off, got the base on balls to open up the bottom half of the second inning. And it's the 3rd walk issued by Hammond here in this affair. Hammond on the season entering today, it only issued 25 walks compared there for 19 strikeouts, but giving up some free passes nonetheless, but not a whole bunch. That one's a fair ball. They'll throw it away. The west of the catcher throws it away out into foul territory down the first base line, and that will allow first to third for Baldridge. Headed into second is Alyssa Wesley on an errant throw. We'll call it an E2. Ball just deadened, literally right in front of the batter's box from Alyssa Wesley. And Wesley is able to race down first base. An errant throw by Kayla West, the catcher, for Cloud. A 9-2 lead here in the top half of the third. And that fouled off back into the netting. Ripped foul there on the third base side. We're in the top half of the third inning, a 9-2 lead. Scotty's on top with 5 runs in the bottom half of the second inning, doing that by batting around. Had a multitude of hits in that frame as well, 3 of them exactly. A couple of walks thrown in there with an error. 4 different plate appearances produced in actually 5 different plate appearances for the Scotties produced in RBI. That last pitch fouled off again by Gillen. Scotty's trying to pick up 21st win of the season. This would be the opportunity to do that here in this game. Of course, the doubleheader against Cloud County. After this showdown with Cloud, they will head out on the road for the next 2. And that one's going to be put up in the field of play out towards Baldridge, or actually Shen, Sarah Shen came in, by the way, of course, for Kendra Baldridge in the second inning. And Shen tracks it down for out number 1. Home plate umpire. So, illegal pitch, I believe, is what they just ruled that, which would have been granted to ball 4, is what the home plate umpire was talking about. But it'll be Gal on to lead off the inning. As the home plate umpire out to talk to Jalissa Ortega out in the circle with Heidi Jordan as well, and get the explanation on this situation. So instead of 1 out, it'll be nobody out and a gal on the base pads as well. So runner over at first. That'll be Gillen, and getting what will be constituted as a walk, I guess, ruled that way. Yeah, that'll be how it goes. Wind was coming in from right field across the field now. It's blowing actually straight in from center almost. Pitch. Paint brushes the outside part of the plate for a strike to Autumn Adams, who drew a walk and scored one of the 2 runs for Cloud County back in the first inning. Adams comes to the plate again, almost nearly the same situation where Gillen's at first in her plate appearance. And that one got a piece of it, fouled off by Adams, just barely nicking it. A 9-2 lead here in the top half of the third inning. Scotty's on top. Lead it by 7. 0-2 delivery from Ortega that time. Ripped foul on the third base side by Adams. Scotties, like I said, will be on the road for their next couple of doubleheaders at Hutchinson coming up here shortly, matter of fact. It's scheduled for Friday. Don't know if that will happen pending on the weather that's supposed to hit Kansas in general. Swing and a miss down on strikes. And that'll be the 6th strikeout of the game for Jalissa.
Now batting number 14.
Also keeps the runner steadfast over at first. Kayla West, the catcher, now digs in. She's one of the strikeout victims to the first time through the order. After the matchup, playing Hutch tomorrow. Okay, good. Makes sense. So that has been moved to tomorrow. Good to know. Tyler Nordman letting me know that. Yeah, because the weather on Friday does not look good. It looks frightening. Matter of fact, for the beginning of April. Chilly day today as well, but the sun's out, no cloud coverage really here in Highland, and a little bit of wind makes it feel a little chillier. If the wind wasn't around, it wouldn't be too bad. as far as it goes, but low 30s for the temperatures right now. Take a missed, by the way, outside on that last pitch. 1-1 the count. Here in the top half, the third, one away. Scotty's up 9-2. So again, Highland will play, turning around to play tomorrow on the road at Hutchinson. And that fouled straight back into the net. Probably got a little bit of a closer view on that on the camera, I'm sure. Soon we will have multi-camera views for the broadcast for you for baseball and softball. And also coming up this weekend, Northeast Kansas All-Star Games hosted by Highland Community College, featuring several top senior athletes. Moran fires over to first and gets the put out that time around. They go to second to try to get to the runner at second, but safely over there is Gilliland. 5-3 is out number 2, West. Jordan Hummel coming to the plate for Cloud County now in the top half of the third. Next matchups after the matchups with Hutchinson is Heston on Saturday. But that's a question mark as well, of course, with the weather. No reschedule for that. Good pick by Zimmerman. She picks it over at second, fires over to first. It would hit the ground briefly, but as Zimmerman picks it with her glove, showcases the leather, and finishes off the inning with a nearly 1-2-3 fame, facing 4 in that top half of the third. Scotties lead at 9-2 as we go to the bottom of the third inning. Alyssa Wesley will bat to lead things off for the Scotties. Sam Moran and Kemi Zimmerman are due up after that, unless there's any lineup changes here for the Scotties, as they lead at 9-2 over Cloud County.
If you have heard stories about college debt and what it is doing not only to the student who borrowed the money, but also to families who co-signed those loans, you may have concern about your own college future. Check out the difference it makes to attend Highland Community College before transferring to a four-year institution. Going to Highland will save you thousands of dollars in college expense. Literally, you'll be able to start your life after college without the burden of debt that is impacting so many families. Check it out at highlandcc.edu. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
Get all the latest news on Highland Community College athletics by checking out ScottyAthletics.com. From recaps of the latest game action, schedules, stats, player features, athletes of the week, and much more. All you need to know about Highland Community College sports at your fingertips at ScottyAthletics.com. Make sure to also follow us on Twitter at HCC Scotties and on Facebook.
Bottom half of the third inning. Thanks for tuning in here on Scotty Sports Network. Of course, the way you get to the Scotty Sports Network right now is a little bit different than the way you'll get to Scotty Sports Network in the future. Be able to get it right at ScottyAthletics.com. The video will be embedded in the website, so no longer an external website as YouTube. We will be getting some new services to be able to stream our products and sports here on Highland Community College. And on NJCAA TV as well, of course. You can download the app, by the way, and be able to get the Highland Community College Sports, the NJCAA TV app, and be able to get it with the embedded video features on Scotty Sports or ScottyAthletics.com. So be on the lookout for all of that. And a lot of new programming coming your way, and a lot of great stuff on the horizon. Thanks to Rainbow Communications as well for the video equipment, be able to do all of that. Comes Hammond's pitch coming inside, and Hammond's gotten that pitch consistently thus far. She hasn't went to it very much on the inner portion of the plate, but it's called strike 2 against Alyssa Wesley, the left fielder for the Scotties. So, by the way, if you're wanting to keep up to date with Highland sports when they're on the road or in general when we're at home as well, tweeting updates all the time. Follow us on Twitter, HCC Scotties. Check Highland Community College on Facebook as well for updates on all the action. ScottyAthletics.com for recap stories, scores, and more. Wesley rips one down the third base line and foul ball, excuse me. So foul ball for Alyssa Wesley. Still continuing to bat. Foul ball on the last opportunity. 0-2 count it remains. Madison Hammond remains inside the circle for Cloud County, but Highland's tattooed her for 9 runs thus far. This one's Wesley going to be going deep and gone. Touch 'em all for Alyssa Wesley. She blasts the home run, and Wesley gets a nice little bit of applause from her teammates at home plate. Alyssa takes her 3rd round-trip ticket of the season. Wesley, the freshman from Andover, Kansas, batting just under 400 coming into today, but that should take a tick up perhaps after 2 runs scored today, reaching on an error and the solo home run. So, extra base hit again for the Scotties, which would be their 4th of the ball game, the other 3 being doubles. But Alyssa Wesley finding one out of the ballpark for her 3rd home run of the year. Nice job by Alyssa. Top of the order, we've worked ourselves to Sam Moran. RBI with a double and a run scored in a 1-for-2 performance overall. Takes ball 1. Bottom half the 3rd inning, Scotties lead it by 8. Now 10-2 advantage. Highland has just continued to expand their lead ever since they garnered it in the bottom half of the 1st inning. Top half of the 1st is when Cloud scored 2 runs, but if it wasn't for the miscue out in center field, Cloud County perhaps wouldn't have any runs on the board. Like I said, in the last 18 meetings between these two teams, Cloud County has not scored above 3 runs, only but twice. Here's Moran lacing one up the alley and into center field, and her 2nd hit of the ball game. Sam gets herself a single. And Cammie Zimmerman showcasing some leather in the top half of this frame to get the 3rd and final out. Zimmerman getting the call from Coach Scott Jordan, who's in the 3rd base box, coaching box. Heidi Jordan down the 1st base line for the Scotties. Moran getting some details from Coach Heidi Jordan. There's Zimmerman finding the gap between the shortstop and the 3rd baseman and lacing it into left field. Bobbled out there and left as well, but it'll be Zimmerman getting her 2nd hit of the ball game. So both Moran and Zimmerman have multi-hit games. For Cammie, it's her 6th multi-hit game. For Sam, it's her 8th multi-hit game of the season. Cammie also has a 5-game hitting streak now. Two hits, obviously, today, but came in today with a 4-game hitting streak and now stretching that out to 5. Sydney Anderson, who's perhaps been the hottest bat, or at least one of the hottest bats for Highland this season. Sid has a 10-game hitting streak with her single today. Has an RBI, 1-for-1 with a sac fly. And Anderson sees one dipped low for another ball. 2-0 the count. To the right fielder for the Scotties. Anderson has produced a multitude of extra base hits. Single today, but overall in the season has 21 extra base hits. Chops it down the 3rd base line, and that will be foul ball. Initially ruled fair for a moment, but it went underneath the glove of the 3rd baseman, and it went on to the backside of the 3rd base bag. Coach Scott Jordan pleading with the home plate umpire that would have been a fair ball situation, but instead, Sydney will continue her at bat. Like I said, Sid's put up some offensive numbers that have been impressive. Returned as an exceptional player from last year. Contributions that led to her being 1st team All-JAOC Conference at first base, and also 1st team in all-district capacity. That fouled off and out of play for the sophomore. Toting a .471 batting average coming into today. Nearly 900 slugging percentage. Over 30 hits, over 30 runs scored, over 30 RBIs. Got on base a multitude of ways. And Anderson's going to find the gap here out this one, and it's going to hit the fence. At the bottom of the fence, Anderson turns first, headed to 2nd. The throw goes over the 2nd base into 3rd. And there's a run-producing hit for Anderson. Another double for herself here this year with an RBI at that. Her 2nd RBI of the ball game, 2nd hit, which is a double. Her 18th double of the year. Sydney Anderson is double machine so far this year. Scotty's had over 60 doubles entering today, have produced 4 of them as a team. Anderson's 18th double of the season, as I mentioned, but on her career, 27th double. here at Highland. And this one's going to be shot out towards right field. Another base hit, and run comes in. Aubrey Hernandez with a quick hit. Alexis Hodap now comes to the plate. Aubrey, before I could even tell you who was at the plate, put that one in play to right field for an RBI single. And, well, Highland continues to add to their lead. That brought in Cammie Zimmerman, who was at third at the time. Sydney Anderson has worked her way to third now. And Hernandez over at first. So runners at the corners for Hodap. Lexi with a 0-for-1 performance, reached on a fielder's choice. That put the bases loaded, actually. No out was recorded, but still fielder's choice. And that one shot and tattooed, a bazooka out of here. Straight dead center field. Hodap cleans the bases off for a 3-run homer as Lexi tattoos one out of play. A 3-run bomb that is on a frozen rope out of play. Hodap just able to blast that one for her 5th home run of the season. And Highland's offensive party continues here in this ball game against Cloud County, just obliterating the ball at this point. Pair of home runs highlighting this half inning. And the Scotties plated 4 in the first, 5 in the second. Oh, they've scored 6 here in the third. Oh, by the way, still no outs in this inning. Leadoff home run by Alyssa Wesley. Then that was followed by a pair of singles by Sam Moran and Cammie Zimmerman. An RBI double by Sydney Anderson. An RBI single by Aubrey Hernandez. And now the 3-run homer by Lexi Hodap. New pitcher on the way for Cloud County. So substitution here will get you the pitching information. We return on the Scotty Sports Network.
Highland Community College surprises a lot of people. Generally thought as one of the smallest, Highland is actually in the middle of the 19 Kansas community colleges in enrollment. Its Highland campus has a real college feel with housing, athletics, student organizations, theater, concerts, art shows, an operating farm, and distinctive academic programs in its regional centers that cover the college's 9-county service area in northeast Kansas. Viticulture, enology, precision agriculture, diesel, construction technology, early childhood. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
Highland's new precision agriculture program was designed for the farmer or related farm worker of the future. The future arrived quickly. Today's agricultural work goes beyond the field and barn to the computer, the satellite, the drone, the research lab. Aligning all these aspects precisely for the individual, field, and crop is provided by Highland's Precision Ag program. Centered in Baileyville at the College Western Center, this program can provide you with experience in understanding and applying modern farming methods. Check it out.
New pitcher for Cloud County. Their starter, Madison Hammond, goes into the third but never records an out here in the bottom half of the third inning. So 2+ innings of work for Madison Hammond. She surrenders 15 runs, 14 earned. That's going to take a toll on that ERA for sure. 12 hits, 4 walks, and 1 strikeout. So the Scotties have 12 hits and have produced 15 runs out of that situation. Highland with those 15 runs on 12 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on base. Cloud County with 2 runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 left on base here in the bottom half of the third inning. Madison Hammond now taking over at first base for the gal that was playing first base, Alyssa Corpus. So Corpus taking over on the pitching duties. And first batter she'll face is Haley Donaldson. Doesn't inherit any runners, does Corpus. Donaldson on the day. 3 RBIs, a run scored, 1 for 1 with a walk and a double on the day. Every spot in the lineup nearly has a hit outside of the number 8 spot. And 8 of the 9 spots in the lineup have scored a run over the course of the day as well. Kendra Baldridge entered this game. She only had 1 plate appearance. She finishes with a run scored and a walk for the Scotties. Sarah Shin entered in her place and took over in center field. She had just one plate appearance as well. Ball 3 to Donaldson, who did draw a walker last time up. The bases were loaded at that time, so she got an RBI out of that. 2 RBI double. Got 2 runs in for the Scotties back in the first inning. And pitch comes inside, belt high for a strike. 3-1. Now the count to the designated player, Haley Donaldson. Donaldson with the hit today, which was her 10th of the season, has now hit in 7 different games. Donaldson puts one up in the infield, and a pop-up towards the second baseman, tracked in. So fly ball out to second is out number 1 here in the bottom half of the third. Maya Daniels coming to the plate, 2 RBIs, 1 for 2 performance for herself. Was erased off the base paths when she tried to attempt to steal back in the first inning, but still a solid game thus far for the Scotties. For Maya Daniels. Daniels making her 19th appearance overall in games played this year. With the hit, she now has at least 1 hit in 6 different games and rips another one out towards left field off the hop. Daniels has got her 2nd hit of the ball game and her 2nd multi-hit game of the year. So Maya with a 2-hit day. And here comes Sarah Shin, who struck out her first time and only plate appearance thus far. That was back in the 2nd inning, was the last out of the inning. And Sarah Shin coming to the plate. 409 on the season at the plate with 9 hits. 7 runs scored and 6 RBIs for the freshman from Topeka, Kansas. Pitch low and away, ball 1. So Daniels over at first, 1 out here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. 6 runs across for the Scotties to extend their lead, up 15-2. Shin gets a piece of it, fouls it off to the third base dugout. Wind has changed directions again, blowing across the field from the first base side, really, or coming in from right field, depending on which way it goes, kind of fluctuating back and forth. It was coming in from center a little while ago, and this one put up into the air by Shin, and she's going to take it right out of here. Sarah Shin tattoos one out of play for her 2nd home run of the season. It's a 2-run homer as Maya Daniels on the lily pads for the Scotties. And this is a barrage of runs for Highland as they continue to just pound the ball. Doesn't matter if it's Madison Hammonds or Alyssa Corpus, as the Scotties continue to find ways to put runs up. And, well, 8 of the 9 spots in this inning have scored runs. And here comes the Scotties to go with Hope Eckley coming into the contest for the first time. So Hope Eckley going to take over for Alyssa Wesley here in the 3rd inning. 2nd plate appearance in this inning as Wesley led off this whole entire frame with a solo home run. Hope Eckley digging in. Hope doesn't have too many at-bats thus far this year, but does have 4 hits, 6 runs scored, and 2 RBIs with a .235 batting average for the Wichita, Kansas freshman. (17-2) lead for Highland now. As Eckley waits the pitch, takes it for a strike. So this inning alone has featured 3 home runs. A solo home run, a 2-run homer, and a 3-run homer. So 3 home runs, a double also thrown into the mix. Multitude of hits on top of that. Shot right back to the pitcher, laced right there. Good contact by Eckley, but a line out to the pitcher. Tough break for Hope, shooting it right back out of a cannon to the pitcher, and heads-up play by Alyssa Corpus as that was tattooed right back in her face. And she was able to get the glove up and make a fielded play cleanly to snare the pitch. At the plate here for the Scotties, Adrina Hidalgo now. Sam Moran, of course, originally in this position, but Hidalgo now coming to the plate here in the third. Hidalgo chops it foul. So Moran will finish this game with a 2-for-3 performance, 2 runs scored and an RBI. Scotties continue to have the offensive onslaught of 17 runs scored. Of course, this is not a season high yet, and that's going to find the line and be extra base hit here for Hidalgo. Adrina headed towards second, and Hidalgo's got a stand-up double to continue the inning. Hidalgo takes the extra base hit that time around, the 5th extra base hit of the inning alone, not just the game, the inning for the Scotties. Hidalgo able to put that one down the rope and down the third base line for her first double of the season. Only her 3rd hit as well for the sophomore from Lawrence, Kansas. Cami Zimmerman, 2-for-3 performance, 2 runs scored and an RBI for the Scotties. Scotties in this ball game now have produced 17 runs on 15 hits. Looking to continue to add to that perhaps with Hidalgo in scoring position, and Adrina now will go down to third. Pitch that gets away. Zimmerman has ball 1. As I mentioned, this is not going right now the most runs scored by the Scotties this season. That would be 21 in a single game against Allen County. Most runs scored in a doubleheader, just in case you want to know, because obviously we're playing a game 2 in this doubleheader between Cloud County and Highland. Most runs scored by the Scotties in a doubleheader this year is 35. I believe that was the Allen County doubleheader as well. But making some new season highs for teams, I'm sure, potentially in this ball game. Not quite there on the hits either. 19 was the season high in a single game for team hits. They're at 15 team hits for the Scotties thus far. Pitch comes inside. Zimmerman takes the strike on a 3-0 delivery. Now 3-1. 2 outs, bottom of the 3rd inning. For the second time around, we've batted around. We're going further than we did in the 2nd inning, however, when we batted around there. And Zimmerman chases after it, goes a swinging strike 2. Now full count. 2 away, bottom half of the 3rd. Scotties, though, have poured on the runs in this inning, scoring 8 in the 3rd. And Zimmerman's going to find the hole, make it 9 runs as Zimmerman has got her 3rd hit of the ball game, a RBI single.
Now batting for Highland, number 11.
Hidalgo comes in to score after her double, and here comes Anderson to the plate. Nope, not Anderson. McKaylee Jenneret. So McKinley getting her first plate appearance of the day. Jenneret stepping up to the plate, seeing her first pitch in for a strike. Played the Kansas freshman, .467 batting average, her 14th game played in the 6 games with a hit, 7 total hits on the season. By the way, Sydney Anderson, who was batting in this spot to open up the contest, will finish the day 2 for 2 with a pair of runs scored and 2 RBIs with a double. Moving her hitting streak to 10 games for Anderson. 1-1 the count here to Jenneret. Bottom half of the 3rd inning. Scotty's on top. This one's going to skip towards the plate, ball 2. So, several defensive changes as well, which we'll talk about in the top half of the 4th. Highland leads at 18-2. Pitch comes inside, dips a little low as well to Jenneret. McKinley did have a 2-for-3 performance. Her only multi-hit game of the year was against Allen County when Scotties again had a offensive party in that series. They produced 35 runs, which I told you was the most in a doubleheader. Scored 21 in one game and 14 in the other. 18 runs. Marks the 11th game with 10 or more this season. Hit over to the shortstop, fielded over there. Stretch play at first. They do get it on a 6-3 putout. And Nicole Dinkle picking that play from shortstop. But the Scotties, again, have a huge run-producing offensive inning. They plate 9 in the bottom half of the third and continue to expand their lead. 18 runs on 16 hits for the Scotties thus far in 3 innings of action here on the Scotty Sports Network.
Highland Community College surprises a lot of people. Generally thought as one of the smallest, Highland is actually in the middle of the 19 Kansas community colleges in enrollment. Its Highland campus has a real college feel with housing, athletics, student organizations, theater, concerts, art shows, an operating farm, and distinctive academic programs in its regional centers that cover the college's 9-county service area in northeast Kansas. Viticulture, enology, precision agriculture, diesel, construction technology, early childhood. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu. Get all the latest news on Highland Community College athletics by checking out ScottyAthletics.com. From recaps of the latest game action, schedules, stats, player features, athletes of the week, and much more. All you need to know about Highland Community College sports at your fingertips at ScottyAthletics.com. Make sure to also follow us on Twitter at HCC Scotties and on Facebook.
Plenty of defensive changes for the Scotties, as Highland, of course, handedly winning this ball game against Cloud County, 18-2. Top half the fourth inning we've entered to. Get to the defensive changes in a moment. Actually, we'll just reset the whole entire defense for the Scotties. Aubrey Hernandez does remain as the catcher. New pitcher, though, too, for Highland in this showdown. Haley Donaldson taking over for Jalissa Ortega. So Donaldson is your new pitcher here in the fourth. We'll give you Ortega's final numbers in a moment as well. As Donaldson's first pitch, straight down the breadbasket for a strike to Nicole Dinkle. Lexi Hodap remains at first. Whitney Dagonia will be your new second baseman. Maya Daniels remains at shortstop, and Adrina Hidalgo is the third baseman for the Scotties. Give you the outfield as well in a moment. That pitch goes into the dirt. And now 1-1. McKaylee Jenneret, who entered the game in the bottom half of the third inning. She's in left field. Out in center, Sarah Shin. And then Hope Eckley is in right. So that's the defensive lineup for the Scotties now. With Haley Donaldson inside the circle. Donaldson winds, fires, chopped over to the shortstop. Daniels plays it off the field, fires over, and nice splits there by Hodap. And Lexi sliding with a little feet slapping under from beneath there, but Hodap corralling that throw from Daniels in a spectacular play over at first. 6-3 for out number 1 here in the top of the fourth inning. Scotty's bringing forth a multitude of solid performances defensively on top of their offensive onslaught they've put together as well. Jalissa, by the way, went 3 innings of work, so we're entering 2 runs, neither earned, however, on just 1 hit, 2 walks, and 6 Ks in the ballgame. So 3 innings, 2 runs given up. Again, 0 earned because 2 runs scored on an error in the top of the first inning. Only 1 hit given up by Ortega. There's a strike by Donaldson. 2 walks and 6 Ks for Jalissa, who surpassed over 140 career strikeouts now in her career. And Haley Donaldson inside the circle, played in this game earlier on as the DP, now as the pitcher, making her 9th appearance inside the circle. Chased after that did the batter this time, but pulled back Alyssa Corpus, who's now the opposing pitcher to Donaldson as well. Corpus came in relief of Madison Hammond for Cloud County. Donaldson making her 9th appearance. She started 2 games this year, over 15 innings pitched, 15 2/3, 3.57 ERA. And Donaldson pitches low and outside, now 3-1. Second-team all-conference pitcher Haley was last year, so obviously returns with some experience, but had a really good bat last year, too, for the Scotties. Comes back with exceptional leadership for this team. That's fouled off and out of play into the cars down the third base line. Winds picked up here and there throughout the course of the contest, although the sun's still shining and not much cloud coverage, so the sun beaming in over the top of the grain bins on the first base side is definitely keeping it a lot warmer than it would feel if we didn't have that sunlight, for sure, and just the wind played a factor. Donaldson issues the base on ball, so it's the third walk of the game, garnered by Cloud County.
Now batting number 9.
Scotties haven't actually surrendered many walks to their opponents this year. Only now 56 walks given up to 130 strikeouts. Pretty good ratio. Shania Schrod, I mentioned her earlier today, is Seneca, Kansas native, so Northeast Kansas gal. Helped Nemaha Central to a pretty solid softball year last year. Of course, Nemaha Central softball didn't start too long ago, just less than a handful of years ago, if my memory serves me right. Pitch goes into the dirt. Good block by Aubrey Hernandez, keeping the runner over at first. Outside of the first inning, when Cloud County scored 2 runs on that error, they've only had 1 base runner since then. In the second and third innings, they had a walk in the third, which was a leadoff walk. This is a walk with 1 out here in the top half of the fourth. Didn't really pull forth the full effort on that swing. Schrod did get a piece of it and pulled it off the foul to the third base side for Cloud County. 18 unanswered runs for the Scotties after Cloud County played those 2 in the top half of the first inning. All Highland has done is continue to put forth offensive production. 4 runs in the bottom half of the first inning. Schrod again a little check swing, but fouled it off here on the first base side. Hodap was in pursuit, closest glove to it, but didn't track it in. Scotties then plated 5 after the 4-run first. They plated 5 in the second batting around. They bat around in the third as well and end up plating 9 in that inning. That's why they lead it by 16. This might be the widest margin of final victory if Highland does go on to win by that margin. And as soon as I say that, I look at my sheet here, and I am going to tell you it's not, because Highland won 19-2 in a game against Independence. So it's close if it was to stay this way. Donaldson's pitch swung on and missed, and Schrod headed back to the dugout on a strikeout. 7th K of the ball game for Scotty pitchers. And here comes Kelsey Bowers to the plate. 2 away, 1 on here in the top half of the 4th inning. Highland leading at 18-2 at this point. Again, Donaldson, pitcher in relief. They check the runner down at first, and back diving head first, getting a little dirty, is the runner in Corpus. Was a first pitch strike to Bowers. Bowers struck out in her only other plate appearance. This is still just the second time through the order for Cloud County. Off the end of the barrel that time, and in between the grain bins, bouncing around on the first base side, foul ball. Relatively quick ball game for a lot of offense that has been produced in this contest. Of course, we started at about 2 o'clock, about 3:30 now. Moved the start times back an hour today because we knew there was going to be cold temperatures, but really the best day of the week that we've seen thus far. Having to deal with precipitation the last, the first portion of this week, and unfortunately, the latter portion of this week is going to have the same thing happening. Thus, the Scotties moving up that doubleheader with Hutchinson to tomorrow afternoon, by the way. 2-2 now the count here from Donaldson to Bowers, the right fielder for Cloud County. Again, the game against Hutchinson that was scheduled for Friday, the doubleheader on the road for the Scotties, again moved to tomorrow, 2 and 4 o'clock. So start time still the same. Looper over the head of the second baseman. Charging in hard out there was Hope Eckley, but it'll be a single. And only the second hit of the ball game for Cloud County. And Madison Hammond, who's now playing at first base, starting pitcher for this first game, will dig in for her second plate appearance of the contest. 2 outs, 2 on. Here in top half the fourth. 18-2 lead. Scotty's on top. This April 4th afternoon. First pitch strike to Hammond. Scotty's 20-5 on the season. Winning record more often than not under head coach Heidi Jordan and coach Scott Jordan. Finished with 30 or more wins, 12 of the 13 years for Heidi and Scott Jordan to be in control of the program. 40-plus wins 4 times. Of course, this is their 14th season leading the softball program. Currently ranked 9th in the country in the latest NJCAA Division II rankings. Well on their way, perhaps, to another 30-plus win season. The wins are all nice. I know they want to make a run, obviously, in the postseason at that. They came up a bit short of the national tournament last year. That's definitely within sight and within reach for the Scotties this year, you would think as well, which has been over the course of the last few years. Multiple trips prior to last year to nationals. Donaldson missing a bit high on that last delivery. 2-2 the count, 2 outs here in the top half of the fourth. 2 on as well. And a swing and a miss. Down on strikes. Hammond goes down on another strikeout for her second strikeout of the ball game, and ultimately the 8th of the contest for Highland pitchers. Scotties see Cloud County get a couple base runners, but nothing comes of it. 18-2 lead. Highland on top as we go to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Scotties in control here on the Scotty Sports Network.
What is it that stays with Highland alums that make them want to come back and work there? Almost 40 Scotty alums are now Scotty employees, and that number increases every year. Highland President David Rice encourages and supports those who work there with a simple philosophy. You're hired to do a job, do it well. Supporting folks to do their jobs encourages them to meet Rice's simple but high standards. Consequently, Highland faculty, staff, and administration are all part of a supportive culture that helps each other do their jobs well. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
Highland's new precision agriculture program was designed for the farmer or related farm worker of the future. The future arrived quickly. Today's agricultural work goes beyond the field and barn to the computer, the satellite, the drone, the research lab. Aligning all these aspects precisely for the individual, field, and crop is provided by Highland's Precision Ag program. Centered in Baileyville at the College Western Center, this program can provide you with experience in understanding and applying modern farming methods. Check it out.
Bottom of the fourth inning, we head to Scotty's in the driver's seat, and handedly at that, as they lead at 18-2 here on the Scotty Sports Network. Mike Smith alongside with you for today's action, live from Scotty Park. As this will be the final time we broadcast through YouTube. By the way, we're planning on getting a new broadcasting service that you'll be able to find still the normal way on ScottyAthletics.com, as be able to get all the links there on individual schedule pages, but you won't have to venture away from ScottyAthletics.com because it will be embedded, the video that is, for Highland to see all of the athletics. We'll have some new multi-camera views during broadcasts as well, courtesy of Rainbow Communications, getting a lot of new toys to play with and give you some great broadcasts. Not that they aren't bad as well already, but going to be better, going to keep things rolling here. New batter as well for the Scotties. Aubrey Hernandez was in this spot prior to Kennedy Meyer. So here's Kennedy Meyer's first plate appearance of the ball game. Scotty's going deeper into the bench to get everybody really a bit of action right now. Meyer puts one off the bat, off the barrel, and out of play. So Meyer takes over for Hernandez, who will go 2 for 2 with a double, 2 RBIs and 3 runs scored. Also a walk for Hernandez. Pitch comes inside. Meyer lays off the pitch now for a 1-1 count. Kennedy on the season, the freshman from Gardner, Kansas, making her 9th appearance in game action. Has just 2 hits, batting .200 on the year. Pitch, a wind and a fire from Alyssa Corpus, low and inside, and ball 2. Every spot in the lineup has scored at least once here today, with most of the spots in the lineup. Meyer watches one come inside, a little chin music, that one a little high, but ball 3, 3-1. 7 of the 9 spots in the lineup today have scored at least twice for Highland. Sharply hit over to the shortstop. Dinkle fields it, fires over to first, and a 6-3 put out. Lexi Hodap, she's got a 3-run homer in the contest with a pair of runs scored, those 3 RBIs. 1 for 2 with a walk. Hodap digs in for her 4th plate appearance of the contest. Highland blasted 3 home runs in that 9-run 3rd inning. You had a solo home run, you had a 2-run homer, and a 3-run homer at that. And Hodap's home run was a line drive shot out of a cannon style home run. And Alexis watches one bend her at the knees a little bit for a called strike. 1-1 now the count here to the Scotty first baseman. Hodap gets a piece of that, shoots it right over to the shortstop again, and Dinkle with a busy half inning defensively, able to field that cleanly, and a couple of 6-3 putouts on a pair of ground outs at that. And here comes Haley Donaldson to the plate. Haley with a 3 RBI day, has a double for her lone hit of the contest. Looking for a multi-hit game if she can get it, which would be her 4th of that variety. Registered her 2nd double of the year. First pitch, ball 2. Now the pitcher. Haley started this game as the designated player. Took over inside the circle for Jalissa Ortega, who pitched 3 innings. Donaldson trying to finish things off for the Scotties. And pitch goes well out of play, or well off the plate for Donaldson for ball 2. So Haley officially 1 for 2 on the day with that double, 3 RBIs and a run scored and a walk. Pitch kind of lobbed in, but low. Donaldson might be drawing and garnering her 2nd walk of the ball game, which would also be only her 5th of the season. 18-2 lead, bottom half of the 4th inning. Donaldson watches one come straight down the pipe, taking all the way on the 3-0 delivery, now 3-1. 3-1 delivery on the way, wind and fire, off the plate outside, ball 4, and well, it's 2 walks on the day now for Donaldson. Draws it with 2 outs, the base on balls. The Scotties have picked up a multitude of runners, not only, of course, pounding the ball via the hits, but have been able to garner several walks over the course of this contest. Donaldson's 2nd walk of the ball game. With her 2 walks, there's 3 others, so 5 free passes for the Scotties on the day. Partnered with their 16 hits. Also had a runner via an error in the matchup too. Maya Daniels falls down in the count quickly, 0-2. Daniels does have a 2-hit day. Maya's 2nd multi-hit game of the year. Other one coming against Allen County earlier this season. Pitch outside. Run scored and 2 RBIs on top of her 2 hits for Daniels. Shortstop for the Scotties here in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Stay tuned. Again, we'll have Game 2 here on the Scotty Sports Network as well for you. As Daniels puts one out towards center field, backtracking towards the fence and catching it as he backpedals towards second. And the deep fly ball for Daniels, not enough underneath it to get it out of the ballpark, just barely, but tracked in for out number 3. So the Scotties, first time they don't score any runs in a half inning, but 4 innings officially fully in the books, and Highland leads at 18-2 over Cloud County in Game 1 of the doubleheader.
Highland Community College continues to make college more affordable. Administrated by Nelnet Business Solutions, HCC now offers payment plans. Any student taking an HCC course may finance their tuition fee and main campus housing via one of 3 different payment plans. Choose from day, evening, weekend, or online classes with one great low rate. Associate's degrees and transferable classes with financial aid and scholarships also available. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
If you have heard stories about college debt and what it is doing not only to the student who borrowed the money, but also to families who co-signed those loans, you may have concern about your own college future. Check out the difference it makes to attend Highland Community College before transferring to a 4-year institution. Going to Highland will save you thousands of dollars in college expense. Literally, you'll be able to start your life after college without the burden of debt that is impacting so many families. Check it out at highlandcc.edu. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
Top of the 5th inning, we've worked ourselves to, and Highland leading this one 18-2 lead in this showdown as they are on top here in the top half of the 5th. Scotty's looking to put the final details on this ball game as well and capture the victory for their 21st win of the season. Haley Donaldson fires a first pitch strike. Leading off the inning is Peyton Gillen, the gal, of course, batting in the leadoff spot here today. As we've worked ourselves now to the 3rd time through the order for Cloud County. She's been on base twice, Gillen has, a walk and a single with the run scored, one of the 2. There's another strike fired in. Nice job by Donaldson on that delivery. So Donaldson trying to put the final touches on the showdown for the Scotties. Try to claim this victory. Ended in a little quicker fashion. Popped up foul on the third base side. Hernandez was in pursuit, but unable to track it down. 18-2 lead. Scotty's on top here in the top half of the 5th. Adams and West are due up unless there's any changes to the lineup for Cloud County. Cloud County doesn't have very many players on the roster overall. Matter of fact, just 15 gals on their entire softball roster. Gillen trying to keep the inning alive, or keep things alive for Cloud County, but a lot of work have to be garnered here in this half inning for them to be able to mount this situation of going further into the contest. Pitch fouled off, and Gillen continues to battle in her at bat. Game 2 of the doubleheader will come your way as well. We'll take a short break and then come back. Find the link on the ScottyAthletics.com website underneath the schedule page for softball. That's where you find all the links to watch and listen live. Or you can stay on Scotty Sports Network on YouTube for the moment. Fly ball out towards center. Sarah Shin gets underneath it and tracks it down. Fly ball out to center field is out number 1 in the top half of the 5th. Autumn Adams is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored for Cloud County today. With one away, she comes to the plate here in the top half of the 5th. First pitch from Donaldson, dips low, and ball 1 to the left fielder for Cloud County. So the Scotty's going to win, by a sizable margin. It looks like in this ball game, something that they've done multiple times over the course of the season. Been able to garner several runs. Matter of fact, now 12, if this one does hold up to be a wide margin, but they'll have won their 12th game by 8 or more. on the season. Been able to do so by holding Cloud County relatively in check as well, with only 1 hit, 3 walks, and only 1 other base runner via an error. Off the end of the barrel that time and fouled into the netting, so it's strike 2. Scotty's 18 runs will be the 3rd most in a single game this season for themselves, unless we continue the game, of course. Scored 21 against Allen County, and I mentioned 19 against Independence. In that 21-run game, they actually gave up 10 runs as well. But the 19-run game, they won by 19-2 score. 2-2 the count. Donaldson winds, fires from the rubber, low and inside. Shoe-dusting Adams that time. Donaldson back on the rubber inside the circle. Again, with a lot of substitutions in for the Scotties here in this showdown. That dips low, and it'll be ball 4 to Adams. So most of the base runners for Cloud County here in Game 1 of the doubleheader have been garnered via the free pass. That is the 4th base on balls today. Only 2 hits, and then, like I mentioned, only other base runner was an error, and that error providing the 2 runs for Cloud County back in the 1st. Allen's done all the scoring since then with 18 runs. That's fouled off on the first base side of the netting. Kayla West 0 for 2. Ground ball out to third base and a strikeout for her 2 plate appearances. But comes to the plate with a runner on for the 2nd time in this ball game. She struck out the other time that happened. And pitch comes inside. (18-2) lead. Scotty's on top. And again, continue to keep Cloud County in check. Not only have they not, allowed their opponents to do a lot of scoring over the course of the year. Another one fouled off to the netting on the first base side. That'll be strike 2 to West. 1-2 the count. But Scotties are only giving up 3.3 runs per game this year, and only just under 6 hits per game to their opponents. But if you look at the series with Cloud County, they haven't been able to score, Cloud County that is, against Highland much of the last 18 games between the two. As I mentioned earlier, 16 of the 18 where the Scotties have held Cloud County to 3 or less runs. Now, they did win a game against Highland last year, 2-0. You can score 3 runs or less and still win a game, obviously. But usually, going to need a little bit more than that when both teams can put some offense together. Down the first base side, Lexi Hodap in pursuit, and Hodap hauls it in foul territory right in front of her own dugout on the first base side. That's out number 2 here in the top half of the 5th. Adams remains steadfast at first off the base on balls, and Jordan Ummel now comes to the plate. An 0 for 2 performance for the Cloud County designated player. Ground ball out and also struck out here today. 18-2 lead, Highland on top. Scotty's looking to finish it off. Donaldson's low and away, kind of into the dirt. Hernandez holding on to it. Shortstop Nicole Dinkle will be up if Ummel can continue the game. One-0 delivery on the way, and Scotty's fired inside for a strike from Donaldson. Donaldson making her 33rd appearance inside the circle overall in her Scotty career, as she is a sophomore. But as I mentioned, her 9th appearance this year inside the circle pitching-wise. Has a 9-5 record. Julissa Ortega, though, went 3 innings, so she would be the winning pitcher in this situation. And in that case, it would be Ortega's 17th career win for the Scotties inside the circle. Pitch was in there for a strike from Donaldson. Haley's thrown over 104 innings entering today for the Scotties. in her career. That pitch swung on and missed. Donaldson gets the strikeout, and that will do it. And 5 innings via run rule. The Scotties will earn the win as they take the victory 18-2. We'll get your Pokes game numbers when we return after this quick timeout here on the Scotty Sports Network.
Highland Community College surprises a lot of people. Generally thought as one of the smallest, Highland is actually in the middle of the 19 Kansas community colleges in enrollment. Its Highland campus has a real college feel with housing, athletics, student organizations, theater, concerts, art shows, an operating farm, and distinctive academic programs in its regional centers that cover the college's 9-county service area in northeast Kansas. Viticulture, enology, precision agriculture, diesel, construction technology, early childhood. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu. Get all the latest news on Highland Community College athletics by checking out ScottyAthletics.com. From recaps of the latest game action, schedules, stats, player features, athletes of the week, and much more. All you need to know about Highland Community College sports at your fingertips at ScottyAthletics.com. Make sure to also follow us on Twitter at HCC Scotties and on Facebook.
Taking a look at the final numbers for us here today for Game 1 of the doubleheader. Highland takes it in routing fashion. They win 18-2, and they win it handily over Cloud County. Cloud County, however, took the initial lead, 2 runs in the top half of the first inning, and a single and a walk led off the inning. Jalissa Ortega, the starter for Highland, recorded 2 strikeouts, but then an error out in center field scored 2 runs, and Cloud County, going into the bottom of the first inning, led 2-0. Highland had a tremendous answer, however. A leadoff double by Sam Moran, a couple of walks, and a 2-out RBI double by Haley Donaldson. Well, that would bring in the first 2 runs of the game for Highland and get them on the board. Actually, a sacrifice fly got Highland on the board first, then 2 more runs. That, of course, making it 3-2 in the advantage for Highland. They scored 1 more on an RBI single by Maya Daniels for a 4-run bottom of the first. They led 4-2 and never looked back from that point on. Scotty's bat around in the second, plating 5. They scored 9 in the third, batting around during that inning and having 3 home runs in the bottom half of the third inning. Madison Hammond and Alyssa Corpus both go 2 innings of work for Cloud County. Hammond gave up 15 runs, 14 earned on 12 hits in her 2+ innings of action for Cloud County as the starter. Cloud County had Peyton Gillen with a hit, and also only other hit was garnered by Kelsey Bowers. They had just 2 hits. They did draw and get 5 walks in the ball game. Only other runner was via an error. Scotties offensively were highlighted by a multitude of gals. We'll get to that in a second. Jalissa Ortega gets the win on 3 innings pitched, giving up 2 runs, 0. They were both unearned. 1 hit, 2 walks, and 6 Ks. Haley Donaldson finishes off 2 innings pitched, no runs given up on 1 hit, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Sam Moran gets a 2-hit day with an RBI and 2 runs scored in the contest in a double. Kimmy Zimmerman with a 3-hit day and 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Sydney Anderson goes 2 for 2 with a RBI double and 2 runs scored. Actually, 2 RBIs on the day. Aubrey Hernandez 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs, a double, a walk, and 3 runs scored. Lexi Hodak with a 3-run homer. Also another run scored and a walk on the day, too. Haley Donaldson, a pair of walks, 3 RBIs, and a double and a run scored. Maya Daniels with a multi-hit game, her second of her Highland year, as she was able to have 2 RBIs on the day, too. Kendra Baldridge had a walk and a run scored. Sarah Shin with a 2-run homer for herself in the performance. Also, Alyssa Wesley with 2 runs scored with a solo home run, highlighting her day at the plate. Scotties win at 18-2, handedly taking Game 1 over Cloud County. We'll have a short break, and we'll come back with Game number 2 here on the Scotty Sports Network.